Okay, we're going to try this again. This is the handheld version, and hopefully, well, we'll see how bad the image stabilization is. But this is part of my daily, my daily trek through the woods on the mountain. So this is a partially mown path. It only goes back about 50 feet, and then it turns into my paths. This is my most recent, well, no, yeah, I just added this addition to an existing path. Love the grapevine here. If you occasionally see my stick coming up, it's to break out the spider webs. So that was sort of a downward, and now we'll head back up. The total path is between 0.8 and 1 mile. And it was an old deer path, but they stopped using it because this tree had fallen across the path. So I got out here with the chainsaw, and it's nice when the downed trees are closer to the end of the path, but this one was right in the middle. 400 steps each way, carrying the 40-pound chainsaw. Now we go back down again. Pretty mild. Downhill. As you can see, we do have a lot of leaves that are down already, but still a ton on the trees. And here's my little camouflaged entrance for the deer. Like they care. And now, a pretty severe downslope. Down into we started up in what I call the upper area. And now we're coming down to what I call the orchard, which has seen better days. But it had seen better days when I bought the property 12 years ago. Anyway, so this is the orchard. with the cabin built by Michael, my adopted nephew. And here's a path that I was particularly proud of, but I don't take it very often because this takes you from here about 110 feet straight, almost straight down to the county highway and to the soybean and cornfields that the deer can munch on. So now that we've gone, that's as far downhill as we go on this route. So now it's back uphill. You know, the old Fitbit was kind of nice because it gave you the number of stairs that you did. And you'll have to excuse me if I get a bit out of breath. So then this is the upper orchard, but not the upper level. And here is my trail cam, and I've got that pretty much set to pick up activity at the watering holes every day. Get a 5-gallon bucket out of Otter Creek, which is at the foot of the mountain, and then drive it to the upper area and then walk it down here. And this is another path that the deer don't take. I thought this would only ensure healthy, agile deer. Okay. Now we're going to be coming up on what had been another deer trail that I sort of built out this year. It's the Adventure Trail. If you look over there, there's another trail going up, which is less steep. So this one is steeper. And I thought, again, you'll get the adventure deer. But no, they like the mowed other path. But this is a good one for me to walk. A little bit dicey here and there. And now we're going back uphill again. Another cut there. And this is barbed wire. This used to be all pasture land. I believe it was back in the 30s, the entire mountain was bare. Okay. So now we're just paralleling the mountain, the slope, so it's pretty flat. And here's what I thought would be good fun for the deer. They could play with that, but one day it's gonna fall on my head, I'm sure. So it goes from sort of paralleling to now it's pretty steep uphill again. But the total elevation distance between the base down by Otter Creek and the top is 180 feet. So it's like an 18-story building. This is where I come out onto the original driveway, which was too steep for the county to allow. And this isn't even the steep part. Anyway, so this is the first mowed path that I had put in. And this cuts in between the old driveway and what I call the hill. So it's pretty much thick. And then you come out into the hill, which isn't thick, but which is, again, quite steep. But it's gorgeous. And we're coming to what I call the Marble Hill, because this is a huge old hickory which sheds a ton of nuts, and the deer come out and they eat them, and they leave their shells and occasionally the whole one, and it can get very slippery. So now this is one of the first paths. I think Michael put this one in, and this goes between the hill and the new driveway. Again, a pretty steep incline here, which levels out. I should give you a view across now, and I'm hoping that this comes through. You can sort of see the hill through the trees. 2 weeks ago, you couldn't see the hill. So we'll go back up. lot of old down trees. And I've made it, most of my paths, I've made them wide enough that I don't get hit on the sides by branches. That's my criteria. So it comes out then onto the new driveway, this is what I call the upper. This is the driveway going up, and this is the driveway going down to Adams Hill Road. And as you can see, this one is a little less steep. Again, it sort of cuts into the grain of the hill a little bit better than the other one. So we'll go back up now to a path that, again, has sort of been around for a while, but I sort of opened it up this year. And this is where one day I will be killed, probably, when that tree falls due to my vibration. I should say that the majority of the mountain is made up of oak and hickory, but this is my stand of maple. I think that's the mother maple right down there, and then a lot of others. So this is really the only part of the mountain that gets any color during the fall. But that's okay. I like the oak and the hickory. So that brings us back out to the upper, the driveway through there, and we'll take you to the northern boundary of the property. Which my neighbors have, much to their delight, marked with stakes. And I'll tell you why in just a little bit. But now we're heading back to what I call the upper level. This being the upper, even though it's a little bit lower. But aren't the trees pretty magnificent? Okay, so you see, down there is where we crossed. This is the new drive, obviously, and this is my new cut through, and that's because Well, I had to cut it through because up here, this is where the driveway originally went, and it was my first year up here. I didn't know where the boundaries were, but and neither did the guy who put in the driveway, but the drive went about through here and encroached on my neighbor's property by 7 feet. So they had a solution for me, but I decided that that wasn't good enough, so I cut out what was essentially that sort of brush and made my drive fit my property line. So that essentially is my loop. Again, it's about 0.88 miles, 0.9, and it takes me between 20 and 24 minutes, depending on whether I'm cutting stuff or not. So it's not, I don't go at breakneck speed, but I think I do pretty okay. So the return is always to the truck. Oh, another, this hickory I love. Very prolific. And that's a cherry. And then an oak. Oh no, another hickory, sorry. The oak's over there. And that's my walk.